What's going on, everyone? Badass Revere here, and today I'll be taking a look at the Nebula figure from the Marvel Legends Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 movie wave. Decent figure. I don't think she's my favorite out of the wave, but she's certainly not the worst. This wave is pretty solid, and I'd highly recommend picking it up. But she is a very nice figure, considering we didn't get to get her in the first movie. But honestly, we might have had another Gamora on our hands, which this is a pretty awful figure. So really glad that we finally got this figure on a new body mold, which is really nice about the movie figures because they typically have their own unique sculpts and whatnot. So that's really nice. Not a whole lot going on with this figure. She's pretty basic, except for her really good sculpt work and detail on her. Really nice looking. The head, it's really accurate to how she looks in the movie. I think they did a really great job capturing the likeness of the actress. I can't get it too close just because my camera won't focus on it, but you can see pretty well. It looks pretty close to her. Nice detailed sculpt. I really like the blue paint on here. Very nice. All this stuff. I don't think this is painted. I think it's slightly sculpted. Even the little lines. I know all this stuff here is painted. The little back of her head's painted and whatnot. Her arms definitely sculpted. And sort of these little lines here. I think, from what I've heard, that they're using this new kind of print technology where they can print details and stuff on the face or something like that, if I heard that correctly. But it definitely, whatever they're doing over at Hasbro, they're really stepping up their game with these figures because I think they're phenomenal compared to, our first movie figures, which are garbage. But yeah, so really nice. Like I said, the arm's completely sculpted. It's got all these nice little sculpted lines in there. It's got some nice detail, kind of a wash going through. I'm guessing they probably just molded it in gray plastic and then put a little bit of a wash over it. Would have been nice if maybe it was like a silver color, more metallic looking. I think that'd be really nice, but still looks good. The shoulder pads on both arms are painted in this metallic purple. There's also a lot of sculpting within that. We come down to the lower part of the arm, and it's also got the same sculpting up to her wrist. She's got some sculpting for the glove. I want to say I'm guessing it's part of her glove. I'm not entirely sure, but it's nice and sculpted. The hands, not too much detail, but it does have some raised sculpting on it. For this arm, like I said, it's got a little, I want to say this is sculpted because it looks really clean, but it could be paint. I'm sure there's some black paint going over it, but it's I think there's just a tiny bit of sculpting into it. I may be wrong, but it does look like it is sculpted to me, because I don't think, oh, you know what I think it is? I think the lines are indented, and then they tried to paint black within it. Because I can kind of see where the paint's not matching up, but you can't really tell. But if you got in there close, you definitely notice that there is a problem there. Looking at the torso is pretty basic. It doesn't have a whole lot going on, but it does have a lot of sculpting detail. And the paint, it kind of gets lost in the paint because there's not really any shading to it. It's all just kind of like purple here and then a lighter purple there, so you can see it, but it does have texture to it. She does have little ripples on her shoulder area for some more texture. This arm kind of has the same thing going on with it. It's got just some texture, but not a whole lot of sculpt to it. So that's pretty much her entire body. She just kind of has it's kind of a ribbed texture. Not really a whole lot else going on with it till you get down to her legs. It's got some of these buckles on here. I want to say it looks kind of like there's something that's like wrapped around her legs for these metallic parts. I'm not totally sure. She gets her her design kind of gets lost in all the purple because it's kind of a dark color. And then throughout her body, she's just got these black marks everywhere. I don't know what that's about. Maybe some battle damage or something. But she's got like black like marks all over her body. Not on the back, which makes it look kind of silly. But yeah, so I don't know if it's supposed to insinuate that she's been in battle or what the deal is. But it's not too bad, I guess. I just wish maybe she was a little bit brighter so you could actually see the details, but no big deal. The boots are nicely sculpted, but they don't have any kind of paint on them at all. There's buckles here that should be painted. There's some couple of other things I could see that would probably be gray on her, but they're not. So pretty lackluster paint in my opinion, but overall I think the sculpt is actually pretty nice, and I like the body mold for her. She does seem like really tall. I mean she does look like this in the movie, but it's just like she's got some really long legs, and this kind of just looks like someone like kicked her super hard in the crotch, so now she's got this weird kind of like gap, which I mean I know, you know, they're gonna have that kind of gap edge, but man, whew, she's got to be pretty tall. So yeah, looking at the accessories, we'll talk about that next. She comes with 2 accessories along with the build-a-figure piece. She comes with her tiny little pistol gun, which we saw, I believe, in the second movie. She holds it okay. It's not like super firm, but it doesn't really go anywhere. It just kind of like fits in her hand. There's not like a little trigger thing to like stick her finger in to get a better grasp. But she does hold it very well, so I'm happy about that. As long as it's not flying out of her hand, I don't really care too much. And then she comes with this other weapon. I don't remember seeing this in the movie, but it's really weird. It's on this swivel here. So it swivels. And then, I don't know if this is like the clip or something right here. I don't know. Maybe it shoots a beam or something. I don't remember seeing this in the movie. She holds that okay. She puts in her arm, or not her arm, her hand. No triggers or anything, so I don't know how she fires it, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of a weird looking gun. So yeah, there's that. Really weird. A big problem I have with this figure though, because I just noticed, is her arm wants to pop out a lot pretty easily. You can force it up there all you like, but then it comes loose, and I think that's mostly in part because of the sculpt of her arm right here. I think it's like rubbing up against the back of her elbow, causing it to, well, it's when you rotate it like this, the elbow is moving in a way that it shouldn't, so then it causes it to kind of pop out. And I think the hole just seems to be a little bit loose than it should be, or small, or a little too big for the peg. So that's probably part of the problem. About to drop my camera there. But looking at articulation, her head is on a ball peg and a swivel, so she can look up a decent amount. She'll look down, rotates 360 degrees. Her arm, the articulation on her arms is going to differ because on this side she doesn't have like a little shoulder thing that goes over her shoulder as much, whereas on this side it does. So you're going to get a little bit less articulation going up on this side of the arm than you are on this side. This side gets full range of motion, swivels, bicep, all that good junk. On this side, it only goes up about here. You can kind of stretch it a little bit, and it does rotate a little bit strange, I think, due to that shoulder piece, but it's not too big of a deal. But she does rotate. She has a bicep swivel, wrist hinge, as well as a swivel. She's got this upper diaphragm joint, which really doesn't do anything. It hardly goes forward and back, and it kind of just goes side to side, barely. No waist swivel, at least as far as I can tell. I don't think there is. It almost kind of looks like she does. I'm a little afraid to try. So there's a line here, there's like a break in the sculpt where it looks like she has a swivel, but I was not under the impression that she had one. And to be honest, I don't think I want to mess with it, just because I'm afraid she might break, because it doesn't seem like it wants to move. So I might go watch another person's review on that and see if that's a thing. But to me, it's pretty stuck, so I don't want to risk it. Anyway, she's got this belt that's free floating, so that doesn't get in the way, even though it doesn't do anything. So if there is a swivel, I can understand why that it's there. If there's not, I don't see why they didn't just sculpt that into the figure itself. But the legs go forward and back, in and out. She rotates at the upper part of the thigh, double jointed knees, a hinge in the foot, which is very stiff, and then she has the ankle rocker. Her feet kind of look a little weird, just because like her ankle is like really flat, and I think that's just due to how her boots are. But they do look kind of weird when you're posing them. But she does stand pretty good on her own once you get her in a good stance. Unlike me, where it looks like she's just kind of like shooting up in the air, like, hey, listen to me. But other than that, I think it's a decent figure. It's not my favorite, like I said, but she's not the worst out of the wave. Definitely worth picking up if you want to collect the movie figures. And yeah, so hopefully someday, eventually, we'll get like a comic book version of Nebula, so then we can add her to the collection. Especially since she's, I mean, I don't know how integral she'll be in the movie, but in Infinity Gauntlet, she was kind of integral to the story a little bit. So hopefully we'll get a comic version of her. But if not, I guess at least we have the movie one. But anyways, guys, that's my review. Thanks for watching, and check out my other reviews in this wave, and I'll talk to you guys later.